Hello friends, welcome to today's webinar. Are you guys excited? I am also equally excited. Today I am going to cover one strategy which I use for trading stock options. It is a very interesting topic, and many times when we trade stock options, what fear we have is option losing its value or because of theta decay. So why don't we have a strategy which can keep us in trade for longer without this fear? So what we are going to, let's see the today's agenda. So what we'll learn today is, first, we'll cover the basics of option. Then I touch upon Greeks, how to use Greeks, how to understand Greeks. Next topic is I'll show you some interesting way, or rather, an interesting outlook to look at the complex option strategies, how you can understand option strategies very easily. Then we'll see the how payoff graph works, how to read payoff graph. Then comes the main strategy part, how strategy works, when to use it, money management part of the strategy, and very important topic is eighth one is adjustment of the strategies, how I adjust these strategies. So let's start. Hi, let's start with first topic. Here I will touch upon the basics of option for guys who are new to option trading. I'll give you the basics of option, how options work. Do you guys agree? Option trading behaves like a casino. I'll give you the reason why. Like in casino, 90% of the people lose money. Similarly, in option trading, 80% of options expires worthless. In casino, there are many games to attract players. Similarly, in our market also, we have Nifty, Bank Nifty, stock option. Then in index, we have weekly expiry and monthly expiry just to attract the more number of participants. Have you ever played roulette in casino? Like there we have a single number reward is 32 times. If you bet $1 on a single number and if you win you get 32 times reward. So similarly in option prices, many times you must have been seen on expiry day option pricing going many fold on same day. So it's like a ek ka das kind of play, right? So there are many similarities. There is always a tug of war happening between option buyer and option seller in the option trading. Do you know, in casino world, only one person is the winner, and that is casino owner. So similarly, in market also, what happens? 10% of the smart and patient people, they take away the money of the entire 90% other players because they are impatient, indisciplined, and they don't enter with a plan. So in market, we have to think like a casino owner. The casino owner's edge lies in the law of averages and the built-in edge they have. Now we won't go into detail of all this. You can Google it, you will find it. So there is some study where you know what kind of edge casino owners have. They have explained that. By the way, options were initially introduced for hedging purpose. Okay, don't laugh. To make you understand the basics of option, I'll give you the definition. I'll start with the definition of option. Option, like what is option? Options are financial derivatives sold by option writers to an option buyer. So it is a contract between option seller and option buyer. It is not a independent product. It is a derivative of some financial products. So it's not an actual asset, but its value is derived from the underlying, which could be Nifty, Bank Nifty, or stock. As we seen, it's a contract between buyer and seller. Now, what are the this intricacies of this contract? Under this contract, buyer has a right but not the obligation to buy or sell an asset. If he holds call option, then he has a right to buy, and if he holds the put option, then he has a right to sell. But seller is under obligation to honor that contract. That's the reason seller has unlimited risk in this. Now this contract happens at a agreed upon price, which is a strike price. It expires on a specific date, that is which is called expiry date, and this contract is entered for a consideration called premium, where buyer pays the premium to seller to acquire this right. Okay, so if I give you an example, let's take a practical life example. Now you like some house property valued at say 50 lakhs, but you don't have money now to pay. So what do you do? So you will give a sum of 2 lakh as token to seller, to buy a property and make payment within 4 months when the money would be available or you will be taking out a loan. This way you have acquired the option to buy the property at predetermined price at a predetermined date. Correct. So this is similar to option contract, what I have seen the definition. Now say the value of property falls to 40 lakhs. At the end of the 4 months, when you are about to pay, value of property is 40 lakhs. Now it is in no more beneficial for you to buy the property at 50 lakhs, because when its market value is 40 lakhs, why will buy at 50 lakhs? So you can simply walk away from the transaction. You lost your 2 lakh rupees premium paid as a token. You saved 8 lakh rupees. Okay. Now see the second scenario. If the value of property rises to 60 lakhs, now you are in 10 lakhs profit, correct? So you would be more than ready to acquire at 50 lakhs. So this way you can, you benefit from the rights. Now I'll link it with the same example in the stocks. Say Reliance is trading at 2000 rupees. Similar in this way, you have acquired a contract call option to buy Reliance at strike price 2050. You paid a premium of 20 rupees. Okay. At the expiry date, say 2 months from now. Now at expiry date, this is the option contract you have entered on Reliance. Now on expiry date, if Reliance is trading at 1900, will you acquire at 2050? No, it's not beneficial. So what you will do? You will just lose the option premium and you will walk away from the contract. Now if Reliance is trading at 2200, you are already in 150 rupees profit. So you will obviously exercise that option. You will acquire the Reliance. So whatever premium you paid, say 30 rupees, and your profit is 150 rupees. So your net profit would be, still your net profit would be 120 rupees. Correct. This is a simple example of option trading, which is linked with a real life example. Now let's move to next point. So in an option contract, there are two type of option on same security. Call option, which gives right to buy the security to the buyer, and second is put option, which gives right to sell the security, which I have already seen in the definition. Now one question will come into your mind: if it's a derivative contract, how the prices of option will move? There are many factors which affect the price of option, but primary consideration is underlying price of the security. So say contract which is on Reliance, it will move in certain proportion to the underlying price movement. So whatever way stock of Reliance moves, or its call and put will move. So basic criteria is, if underlying price goes up, call price will go up, but put prices are inverse to, because put price is a bearish contract on stock. So if price goes up, put prices will come down. And opposite of that, if underlying price goes down, put prices will go up, because you are bearish when you buy a put price, and call prices will come down. So this is the way option prices work. So if you are bullish on stock, what you will do to make money? It's obvious, you will buy a call, or you can also sell a put option, right? We have already seen if prices go up, put prices come down, so you can sell them at a higher rate and buy lower for the profit. Similarly, if you are bearish, you can buy a put option or sell a call option. Clear? Now there are other factors also which, apart from the underlying price, which also impact the option prices. They are like strike prices, expiry, volatility, which we'll cover in next section. So these are the basic terminology which I have already understood. There are two options, call and put. So call, buyer acquires a right to buy, and seller has the obligation to sell. Similarly in put option, put buyer acquires a right to sell the security, and put writer has an obligation to sell at an expiry date. Now let's understand the risk and reward of the option. Now what happens when you buy an option? Say you buy a call. So when you will buy a call, when your view is bullish. And how you will make money? Only when the stock prices goes up. Correct? When you buy a call, your risk is limited, because what you will lose max is the premium you paid. But your profit is unlimited. If stock rises 10%, you will make 10%. Correct? Now, selling a call option is totally reverse to buying a call option. When you will sell a call, when your view is bearish, so you want security to go down to make a money. But in here, your profit is limited to the premium you paid, but your risk is unlimited, because the call buyer's profit will go from your pocket. Correct. Now say reverse of this. When you buy a put option, when you will buy a put option, when your view is bearish, so you want security to go down, then only you will make money. Now here again, your risk is limited to the premium paid and your profit is unlimited. Now reverse of this, sell a put. When you sell a put, when you want, your view is bullish, so you want security to go up. So if security goes up, put value will come down. Here again, your reward is limited to the premium received, but your risk is unlimited, because put buyer's profit will go from your pocket. Correct? Clear? Now let's take a deep dive into this uh, option chain. You know how many strikes are available. So in a single security, if you look at the option chain of any stock, in a single security, there are many options available to trade at various strike prices on both call and put side. So strike price, which is closer to current price. So in this case, stock price is say 125. Okay. So call strike and put strike, which is 125, is called the ATM, at the money strike, in both call and put side. So in current example, current price stock is 125. So 125 strike call and 125 strike put is the ATM. Clear? Now all the call strike prices which are above the current market price are out of the money strikes, and all the put strikes which are below the current market price are uh, out of the money put strikes. And opposite of that, all the call strikes which are below the current market price are in the money, and all the put strike which are above the current market price are in the money strike. Now I'll explain you the reason of in the money, out the money. What does this mean? Now the reason for this bifurcation is option premium consists of two components: intrinsic value and extrinsic value. Intrinsic value is the amount by which an option is in the money. Now what I mean by in the money is call options are in the money if their strike price is below the underlying price, and put options are in the money if their strike price is greater than the underlying price. Now why we call it in the money? To give example, 120 strike call is in the money by 5 rupees. Why 5 rupees? Because that is 125 current price minus 120 rupees strike price. So this is already in the money by 5 rupees. Reason for this is, if this option expires currently, immediately you will get rupees 5 from this. That is its expiry value. And all the OTMs, call side and put side, they have no intrinsic value, and so they are left with only extrinsic value. Now extrinsic value is the remaining value of an option, that is called time value. So for in the money option, at extrinsic value is premium minus intrinsic value. So for this option, intrinsic value is 5 rupees and extrinsic value is 2.5, that is 7.5 minus 5 rupees. For OTM option, there is no intrinsic value, so this full value is the time value. And finally, all the uh, OTM options will go to zero at expiry, as time value has to go down to zero gradually on expiry date. Got it? Now there are many people in options still make losses, because reason for that is This main reason is time value losses. When you buy an option, it value gradually it has to go to zero. Value decreases for all the OTM options. So that's the major reason of people making losses. Second reason is invalid strike selection. Many people still trade in far away strikes like 5-10% away from current market price, because these options don't move generally very fast, so they don't make money immediately. So that's the reason strike selection is very important. Now third reason is they don't apply stop losses. They allow because they venture into option buying like my risk is limited, but limited risk is also too much because you lose your entire premium if you don't take action or you don't apply stop losses. Fourth reason is averaging. Now, in option buying, averaging is the biggest crime. If you buy an option and price comes down of the stock and you again average that stock, because that both the trades will go to zero. So averaging is the crime for option trading. So that's why they call option buying is all about time when you are into buying the option, because it's a ticking time bomb and gradually its theta decay will go to zero. And there are many other factors like volatility, uh, time decay, delta. These impact the option pricing. So what's the solution to this? So option strategies is the solution to this, where you enter a multi-leg strategy where these Greeks manage each other. So we'll understand in next chapter what strategy I'm talking about. Now let's understand basics of option Greeks. There are three major factors that affect the option pricing. One is underlying price, second is time to expiry, and third is option volatility. Now to put the number to these factors and make them measurable, few formulas were derived and these are called option Greeks. So there are four major major option Greeks we use. Based on underlying move, we have delta and gamma. Based on time to expiry, we have theta. And based on implied volatility, we have vega. Now, there is one more Greek which we don't take into consideration much, that is rho. Rho is identifies how much option price will change if interest rate change. As they don't change frequently, so we don't follow it much. So we'll focus on these four Greeks only. Greeks are very important part of option trading, as they tell you how change in certain factors may impact the option pricing. First, let's understand delta. Delta is the most important Greek. It determines the option pricing as it has the biggest impact. It measures how much option premium will change if underlying price will change by 1 rupee or 1 unit. This means that option with delta of 0.5 is expected to increase by 0.5 rupees for every 1 rupee up move in the stock. So strike price closest to the market price have the higher delta and far away strike prices have lower delta. Let's understand with this example. This is the option chain of Nifty. We are trading close to 15,150. If you can observe, delta of call side delta of 15,150 is 0.51, which is close to 0.5, and call side put side delta is 0.48, which is close to 0.5. So both the ATM strikes have 0.5 delta. As you go away from on call side, far from to OTM calls, you can see delta is reducing. Same way on put side, if you go down, delta is reducing. You can also see in the monies have higher delta, as 14,900, which is deep in the money, has 0.8 delta. What does this mean? For every 1 point move, we can see 0.8 move in option price. So these are highly these behave like a future. It can also be interpreted as lower the delta, lower the probability of that option expiring in the money. So OTMs have lesser probability to go in the money. So they have higher probability that they will expire worthless or say zero. Now next delta is gamma, which is again based on the underlying price. Now one important thing to note about the delta is it doesn't have a constant rate of change. So for any strike, delta is not a constant number. Even delta also changes with the movement in the price. So what I mean to say is, as and when the price move closer to the strike, its delta keeps on changing. So to measure this change, we have another grid called gamma. So delta and gamma are kind of siblings. Now how we define gamma is, gamma measures a change in delta per 1 rupee change in the underlying price. To give example, say ATM strike 15,150 has delta of 0.51, 15,200 strike has delta of 0.45. So for 1 point move, 15,200 strike call will change by 45 paisa. If you look here, gamma of this strike is 0.0013. Okay, now let's take an example. Current delta is 0.045. Now, if price moves from 15,150 to 15,200, okay, delta is 0.45. Now, with this move, now this has become ATM. So even this delta will change. How we calculate how much change in delta would come? Through gamma. So gamma for this strike is 0.0013 for 1 point move. So for 50 point move, gamma would be 0.0650, which is 0.0013 into 50. So this is the change in delta due to gamma. If we add this number to base delta number, we get a new revised delta, which is 0.5195. So from gamma, we have calculated that if price move by 50 points, this delta will become 0.5195. So this is called the gamma impact. Now gamma plays a very crucial role when we are near to expiry. As option prices are so low, even small change in underlying can impact the option prices in big way. That's why it's called the gamma hulk on expiry day. So we have to be very careful when we are trading close to expiry, because small delta moves can give you a big impact on your option pricing. Now next, the very important Greek is theta. We all know option premiums are like perishable commodity, and they face a constant diminution in the value. It's also known as time decay and measures how much value decreases or decays from option price with each passing day. So unlike delta and gamma, which are measured per rupee move, theta is measured per day. Okay, so if option which has a theta of 2 rupees, it means every day option price will decrease by 2 rupees irrespective of the price move. One more important characteristic of theta is it is a non-linear theta, non-linear, which is as it's higher in times of expiry and lower when we in start of the expiry. So higher the number of days to expiry, lower would be theta, and gradually as we go close to expiry, theta accelerates. So time we theta works against, so theta always works against buyer and it always works in favor of sellers. If we take example, say all these strikes 15,100, 15,150. If you go to theta column, it shows -10. Okay, so this means that for every day, these are the prices. From this, 10 rupees will decay irrespective of the price move. Okay, so 10 rupees theta decay every day will happen. Now premium prices are so much high, still theta decay is only 10 rupees. Why? Because we are still away from expiry. As we move close to expiry, this number will increase. So that's called the non-linear theta curve. Now next Greek is Vega. Now option prices are based on some expected volatility in the stock price till expiry. So we always expect certain amount of volatility in stock prices. Now that depends on fact, time to time. So if we expect volatility to be high, then we will price option on higher side. And same for the lower volatility. This is called the implied volatility. Now why this happens? Say if sellers are expecting a higher volatility or bigger move in the stock, they will obviously command a higher premium to cover their risk. So that's why in higher volatile time, Vega will always be high. Now, if we go to definition, the Vega measures how much option price will change with 1% change in the implied volatility. Now, as compared to other factors, Vega is measured in terms of the change in the volatility. Okay. So implied volatility goes up, option prices go up. If implied volatility comes down, option prices will come down. Okay. I tell you few before going to example. I tell you few reasons why implied volatility should go up. There are some known events before which normally gradually implied volatility will rise, like earnings, elections, budget. We always see before few days before these events, implied volatility goes up, and after the event is announced, it comes down. Second reason could be, now these are known reason. There are few unknown reason also, like suddenly there is war-like situation. There is announcement of FDA related news in pharma stocks, or maybe there is some political news which suddenly impact the view on the stock. So suddenly volatility rises. Okay. Now let's see how to read the volatility. As we can see, these are the strikes. This is the Vega number. Now what this number signifies is, for every 1% change in IV, option price will change by this amount. So if IV goes up, option price will reduce by this number. If IV goes down, option price, if IV goes up, option price will increase by this number. If IV comes down, option price will reduce by this number. So this is the basic reading of IV. Now we have seen all the factors individually. Now these factors have a combined impact on the option pricing. See, daily we have just one number of the option price. It goes up, it goes down. So we can't measure the individual impact of these factors. They work collectively. So whatever price changes, it's a collective impact of all the Greeks, right? So now all factors are constantly at work. So they have combined impact on option pricing. Now let's understand how combined impact works. Let's take strike 15,150. This is delta of 0.51. So if price goes up by say 100 point, this option will rise by 51 points. Now at same time, theta is also work. So after even 50-point rise in option price, it will reduce by on same day by 10 points due to theta. And if there is change in IV, it will also have an impact of Vega. So sum total of all these four factors will be reflected in the change in the price. I think still you guys are confused. Let me give you example through Excel workout. Okay, now here is a sheet. So let's say on day 0, stock price is 25 rupees, option price is 5 rupees. Clear till now? And it has all the four numbers, like delta of this strike is 0.4256, gamma of this strike is 0.0847, theta is minus 0.0710, and vega is 0.0292. Okay, this is the say call strike. Now on day 1, next day, what happens? Stock price goes to 26. So there is increase of 1 rupee. Okay, so how option price will change will be combined impact of all the Greeks. So delta would be, change due to delta would be 1 rupees into delta number. So due to delta, we have seen option price has increased by 43 rupees. Now gamma has an impact on delta and not directly on the price. So we'll take it next day. On same day, there is theta decay of 0.07. So due to that, price has decreased by 7 paisa. So net impact, if we can see, is 35 paisa, and new option price is 5.3546. So at the end of the first day, let's have a what will be the revised deltas. Now what happened, price has moved up, so this delta will change. Now there is 1 rupee move in price, so delta will go up by a gamma number. Why? We have already seen gamma is a change in delta due to move in the price. Okay, so gamma of this strike is 0.08. So for every 1 rupee move, delta will go up by 0.08 paisa. Okay, so delta was 0.42 previous day. Now there is 1 rupee up move in the stock, so revised delta will be delta plus gamma number. Now we assume gamma remaining same, even theta will remain same, and vega is also same. So at end of the day one, these are the numbers. We have seen 35 paisa increase in price. Now let's see what happens on next day. Next day also price goes up by 1 rupee. So price is 7 rupees, 27 rupees. Price is up by 1 rupee. Now let's see how this prices, option pricing, are impacted by all the Greeks. So delta impact would be 1 rupee price move into delta number. So due to delta, option price has gone up by 51 paisa. Now gamma we have already considered. There is theta decay of for one more day. So price will go down by 0.07. This is the revised price after impact of delta, gamma and theta. Now say on this day, IV goes up by 1%. So for 1% move, how much price will increase? By the vega number. So impact of vega on this day is 0.03 if IV goes up. So now this is the final price considering all the factors. Now say for example, on this day, instead of going up, IV goes down by 1%. So we will take this as a negative number, because when IV goes down, option prices decreases. So now considering total impact, there is 41 paisa increase in option pricing due to all the factors combined. So we can see in the final option price. Got it, my friends?